For me, it's not actually been that different because I'm a stay-at-home person and I like my own company and I can find a million things to do because I'm crafty, and I actually haven't minded too much apart from cooking. I'm cooking continually, which we have everyone at home and everyone wants to eat 3 times a day. I watch the 5 o'clock thing and I've watched it avidly every single day. I'm very bored. I turn off after the 3 top people have done their bit because I can't bear the media anymore and I can't bear a lot of people being moany. And I think it will teach us a lot of good, really. We've got to change. Things have got to change. It's no one's particular fault, or is it? Big discrepancies everywhere. I don't know. I'm coping with it quite well, apart from I have a 16-year-old at home that does absolutely not a lot, and I find that irritating.
Thanks. They're going to give us our predicted grades paired with our teacher's opinion of what they think we'd get. I mean, when we found out that we weren't going to have our GCSEs, we were all a bit, like me and my friends, we were confused a bit because it got to the point where, because it was in March, we were all really revising, trying to get everything done. And then they said, oh yeah, you're not doing them. And we were like, oh, so we've just spent 2 years doing all of this work for nothing. And it was, at the beginning, we were very disappointed. But I think now we've kind of come to terms with it, that we aren't going to have that satisfaction of finishing our exams. And the only time we're going to get that now is at the end of our A-levels. But so other people in other years, in like year 10s and 12s, they've had so much work to do and like making sure they're up to date with their GCSEs and their A-levels. But for us, we've had nothing because we haven't got anything to work towards, which is why I was very glad when they sent us A-level preparation work, because it actually gave us something to do rather than sitting around the house trying to find something to do.
Fortunately, I've got an academic daughter. Fortunately, she did always do what she was meant to do, so historic evidence is there for her. And she got quite tearful, didn't you, when you were putting, she'll hate me for saying that, on screen, when she was putting her study, tidying it up, and she got quite tearful looking at the amount of work she had done.
Yeah, you don't realise how much you've done
and
until you're looking at it.
satisfaction, she wanted the satisfaction. She is a good student, but she wanted to say, I did that, and she's lost that ability, which is very sad. She's missed her prom, they've missed Reading Festival, which was her first festival. They've lost all their firsts, which I think this is quite a age group to keep an eye on, I think, because I sort of think they have missed out on a lot. But academically, I'm not worried, and that's what we sort of said to her at the beginning. She's got enough for the next step of the ladder, and actually they bear into insignificance because she's going to continue if we carry on studying.
I mean, yeah, we've been given our spaces at my school. I mean, majority of the time, if you already go there, you'll just get a spot. There'll be new people coming in, as well as friends of mine that are leaving and going to other schools, where we really never had that chance to say, yeah, goodbye. But then equally, there's the new people coming in, so that'll be exciting. But it's all been very strange.
My parents are 82, and I get that wrong, but anyway, 80s. They don't want to go out at all. My dad was very hot on, I'm not going to go out, I'm not going to meet anybody, and they live not far from us. So in the early stages, they were fortunate enough, they got Iceland deliveries. Never shopped in Iceland before, but we love Iceland now because over 80s and the elderly, they were looked after. So we were doing a shop online, which my mother hated because my mum goes shopping 3 times a week. And she cannot bear the fact that she can't, and we've done the delivery to her. So we were going up to her house, and we phone before we go. They open the gate, we go in the garden, and they wave from a distance. And that's been continual all the way through. We still haven't really broken that. They've been very good, apart from they were allowed to go to the golf course because they're members of a golf course, so they could play golf together. And on Friday, I got a phone call from my dad who said he was sitting outside Tesco's, which did not go down well, considering they have 2 daughters that have bought them everything they want. And my mum was adamant she wanted to go to Tesco's. And she spent the whole time telling my sister afterwards, but it was magic. It was magic. There was nobody there.
I wonder why.
To which we really have given her a telling off, which I think she understands, and possibly she had to see it. She hadn't been out there to see it. My sister lives local, and she's got a dog, and she walks round, and we have ventured to let her into the garden. That's it. But other than that, we really have adhered to it quite easily. I do Zoom with all my friends and things like that, which amuses me. My daughter finds that tedious. I thought 16-year-olds would love it, but she's not particularly into the social media that us older ones are.
It's been really hard, really, because we're used to seeing our friends 5 days a week and sometimes at weekends as well. So from going to that to no one and being stuck in the house with my parents, it's been hard. But well, when you said that we don't use Zoom, it's more because we're so used to using social media every day anyway, because we use Snapchat, Instagram, whatever platform
They
it
spend
is.
the whole time listening to the phone. The
no,
the answer comes back half hour later, which I find bizarre.
If it's like a heated conversation, then we'll keep like texting like a normal person would. But if you send, like, if you're just having a normal conversation, if you send a message at like 10 o'clock in the morning and then you reply to it at 2, you're continuing that conversation throughout the day, which is kind of a strange thing to think about, but it works because then you can talk to people all the time. Like, I mean, I'm on my phone, not that I'm on my phone all the time, but whenever I'm on my phone, I'm talking to people, which you don't seem to understand that I am talking to my friends.
I do worry about, that's the thing, having the 16-year-olds, for me, for their mental side of things. That's been more my worry, and I do constantly, which irritates the hell out of you. Like, have you spoken to anyone today? Have you talked to anybody today? Because you're very aware from being social butterflies, they're doing nothing. We've put ourselves in our own little bubble, and I think it's down to the individual to be in your own little bubble. Chris Whitty I absolutely adore, and him the other day saying, realistically, if we start this track and trace, if everybody has kept to the 2 metres, you're not going to get the phone call, and I'll be one of them. That's my theory. I think you've got to release it a bit. Unfortunately, I'm more the mentality, I think people do need to be told what to do, and common sense goes out the window in situations like this. People don't think when they're out. I just think, unfortunately, we need rules. I would rather have rules, we're all abusing them a little bit, but while they're there, it keeps us safer, in my opinion.
I mean, to be honest, if you weren't there, I mean, I would be going out. I go on bike rides Stop it.
I'm waiting for carry on.
Yeah, thank you. I go on bike rides most days just for some exercise, but you're constantly saying, go out, go on a walk, get some fresh air, get some sun. But because I'm so pale, all I do in the sun is burn, and I constantly just burn and burn and burn. So I don't enjoy sitting in the sun. And you're always asking me, go in the sun, get some vitamin D. And I understand that, so it's good that you're there to tell me that, but it's not going to make me do it anymore. And you've always done the cooking in the house, really, because you like cooking and you're good at cooking. I've done more baking, really, because I like the puddings.
To make us get fat. I think we'll learn a lot from it. I sort of think it's silly things. In the early days, I was saying to Amelia, don't just go and make yourself an omelette, because I don't know when we're getting the next eggs. It's basics like that. The kids of today have not had that ever. You're used to having what you want when you want, and actually that'll do us all a lot of good. And I mean, I laugh at the amount of people that now exercise that never did.
But I find that the strangest thing is when...
Will they maintain it? I'm dubious. I don't think people will remember. They should. We had things years ago that we learnt there's a lot more to life than money, and it's a wake-up call for a lot of people. And the government, I don't want to get political because I don't like all that. I think we're in a position, we're all trying to do the best and didn't know what to expect, and just run with it a little bit.